Hey folks, Derek here in the State of Machine server farm. I recently picked up this VT101 terminal. Um, I got it from a duck reseller. It had been plastic wrapped like this in storage for at least 5 years. So I don't know a whole lot about it. So I'm going to unwrap it and see what happens. See how it looks inside and maybe power it on. And hopefully we get a raster and hopefully we get a prompt. First thing, I gotta get this plastic wrap off, obviously. It was wrapped on the bottom, but I went ahead and cut that before I started the video. The VT101 is a variant of the 100. Apparently the 100 had the ability to add in expansion modules into the terminal. The 101 did not have that capability as a cost-cutting measure, so you think of it as a slightly lower end. And it's pulling the plastic off. I can already tell that it is pretty clean. The bottom here is a darker shade of, beige from the top. Probably to be expected, given its age. I don't see any chipping or any scratches on the terminal. The back side looks pretty good as well. I'm going to pause the video while I get these two screws loosened up. And that should let me pop the back cover off and have a look inside. Be right back. Alright, real quick before I pop the cover off, I just wanted to show the manufacture date on here. It's September 1982. And the model number actually says VT27AAH. So I'll have to look that up to see what all that actually entails. Alright, I think I'm ready to pull the cover off now. The two screws on the back that I thought were screws were actually like little plunger things. You just push or pull them straight down. There are two on the front. You can barely see them in the video. One right here, just little tabs, plastic tabs you pull straight down, and that releases the cover. And here are the two on the back. So of those released, let's see what happens when I lift. Alright. Top cover lifts straight up. And looking at the terminal inside, it looks very basic. It looks clean, other than the flyback is kind of like, how you doing? Like, it's just hanging out here flopping in the wind. There is a thumb screw to tighten this up with, which I will do right now. It is interesting to see the transformer just like not attached to a PCB. It's just like directly attached to the chassis, like some windings going in and one winding going out. So I think what I'm twisting right now is actually a not a nut, but a cushioning spacer of sorts. So I will get a nut Yeah, it fits the screw. And get this tightened up. Let's read to the next question. Where is the nut that would have held this on? It's like hanging around in here somewhere, lodged between some components we don't want it to be. That said, I didn't hear anything rattling around when I was moving the terminal, so it might be okay. You can hear at the main logic board for the terminal. It looks pretty clean. No dust, from what I can tell. There's a little bit of dust on the plastic easel in here, as expected. Other than that looks pretty clean. I'll get in here closer and look at the capacitors and have a closer look at those, and we'll go from there. Alright, I'm back here. I have the transformer, the flyback, attached slightly better than it was before. There's at least 2 nuts holding it on as expected. For future reference, I found that nut in a pack of 440 screws in that kit here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and send. Now, I'm not sending everything all at once. I have the main power supply disconnected from the CRT driver. So I'm going to power on this board and just verify that no smoke comes from there. Then I'm going to plug this connector back into the CRT driver and see if we get a raster. Alright, so I think we're good. The power is plugged in. It's not live yet. I'll hit that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and turn the power switch on, and I'm going to send it right about now. Alright, so it is powered on. Your electrons should be flowing. I'm going to just flip it off, put it back on. I do hear a little bit of humming in there, so some electrons are flowing. It's a good sign. I'm going to power this back off here. Powered off at the receptacle. And I'm going to jump in here, plug this in. Carefully. Alright. And now I'm going to power it on again with the CRT driver board powered on. And I'm going to, from this angle, I'm going to see if there's a raster or not. Just for the note, I don't have the keyboard plugged in, obviously, so I don't know what is or isn't expected behavior with or without the keyboard plugged in. So I'm just kind of playing it by ear here. So here comes power. And I can see that the cathode is glowing. I do not see anything. I do see something. I see a blinking number 6 on the CRT. So that tells me that this CRT at least works. I'm going to throw the power a couple times and see what happens as we power it on and off. That was a heck of a flash there. Hopefully that didn't burn through the CRT. I think it did. Go again. There was a kind of a pattern there when it came on. There's our blinking number 6 again. And one more time for good measure. Oh yeah, you can see that pattern coming in more and more as I power it on. Yeah. Okay, cool. gonna kill the power here. Plug it for now. Power switch. No smoke came out, so I am happy with that. I think what I'm going to do next is pull one of the keyboards out, have a look at it, and plug it in and see if that changes our behavior, honey. Be right back. Alright, I'm back here. I have the keyboard plugged into the terminal. I have the power switch should be on. I have not powered the power cable on yet. The keyboard isn't in great shape. It's missing several keys. It has the word Cal written on it. Lingo from the seller that it wasn't really a display-worthy keyboard. But hopefully it should work for what we need. I'm going to flip the power switch over here and see what happens. That is not what I wanted to see. We have a single glow in the middle of our screen, and hopefully it didn't just burn through the CRT, the phosphorus layer in the inside of the CRT. Next, I'm probably going to hit the pause the video here, consult the service manual that I got with it, and figure out what to do next. So stay tuned. Okay, I am back. I haven't yet consulted the service manual, but I did swap out the other keyboard. And before I say that, I tried just unplugging the keyboard and powering it on, and it acted like it did when it initially powered on, right? We got raster, and we got the number 6 cursor blinking at the top left hand corner without any keyboard. So I grabbed the other keyboard, which is a slightly different model. It has the other keyboard, if you can see on the screen, my camera here, but the other keyboard had arrows at the top center here. The other one that I'm using right now has go to, repeat, print, board, etc. on here. So slightly different model of keyboard. I wouldn't have thought that a slight variance in keyboard would cause the issue that I saw with the CRT not getting a raster and then that solid beam when we powered it off. But plugging in this new keyboard, we saw a different behavior, and I immediately noticed it was different because the offline LED on the keyboard lit up as soon as I plugged it in and turned it on. So here we go. I'm going to send it again. We'll see what happens. Alright, and we got some beeping from the keyboard. Well, it seems like a positive sign. I don't see... we have a blinking 2 on the CRT now. And we are able to type. Awesome. Well, that's a good sign. Alright, slight disruption there. Pro tip, if you're going to record a video on your phone, make sure you have enough free storage. It helps. Anyways, as I was rambling on a minute ago, we do have something coming from the terminal now. So I'm going to send the power again. And we have the startup beeping, if you want to call it that, from the keyboard. And in a second we'll have a cursor. And for whatever reason we get a blinking number 2 as a cursor. I'll have to dig in again to the service manual and read more about this. But we do have keyboard input. And if I could type, that'd be great. The S key, isn't it? Here we go. Yeah, the S key needs work. But the other keys are pretty happy. Okay, so return takes us to the beginning of the line as a typewriter or terminal or teletype would. Line feed is going to take us down to a new line. Yeah, it really doesn't like that S key. That's interesting. Anywho, I did learn off camera that if you press what apparently is the setup key, which is the top left-hand key here, we get a setup menu. So, again, I obviously need to consult the service manual user guide to figure out what I'm doing here. But I mean, that's a great sign. We have a nice, clear picture on the screen. Keys are responding. I need to find replacement keycaps for this. Hopefully I can pull the keys off the other keyboard and pop on here. If not, that might be a money pit. But I will clean up the keyboard and get it as working best as I can. So, I'm going to leave the video here. Next steps, consult the user guide, get the cover put back on, clean up the keyboard, and we'll hopefully have this connected up to one of our PDP loads here in the near future. Alright, thanks for watching.